to conflict with the first 2024 Republican presidential primary debate, Donald Trump had an interview that was pre-recorded go live or be uploaded right when the debate was being held, because that's Trump for you. And he didn't want to, out of fear of being attacked, go and appear at the 2024 Republican presidential primary debate, but did want the spotlight still, obviously. And so he had this interview again with Tucker Carlson. And Tucker Carlson, just prepare yourself, because this may be one of the, and I'm using this term not lightly, even though it's a light word, weirdest interview I've ever seen of Donald Trump. Yes, still dangerous and dishonest and all the lies and all the normal Trump stuff and all the normal Tucker Carlson things, but also weird, awkward, strange. That's what you're going to get out of this. So let's just start going through. First, to give you a sense of how strange this whole dynamic was, watch what they're talking about here. Trump will get to talking about Biden on the beach, and Tucker talks about Biden's legs for some reason.
You don't think he's going to make it to November of 24?
Well, I think he's worse mentally than he is physically, and physically he's not exactly a triathlete or any kind of an athlete. You look at him, he can't walk to the helicopter. He walks, he can't lift his feet out of the grass. You know, it's only 2 inches at the White House, right? That's not a lot. But
Biden, he obviously is up there in age and everything. He's fit for his age. He also does have times he stumbles and he trips up the stairs and stuff like that. But Trump has no place to criticize Biden for not being an athlete when Biden on the regular is on that bike, and sometimes he falls, but he's on the bike. He's 80, guys. He's on a bike riding around. That's pretty dang fit.
But you watch him and it looks like he's walking on toothpicks. So, and then you see him on the beach where he can't lift a chair. You know, those chairs are meant to be light, right? They're like 2 ounces.
Yeah.
You lift him up. He can't lift the chair. He can't walk to the chair. And I don't know what they're doing with the beach. You know, this beach is seeming to play a big role, but they love pictures of him on the beach. I think he looks terrible on the beach. He looks terrible on the beach.
Skinny legs.
Well, he can't walk through the sand, you know.
Why? Tucker, skinny legs. Is that what we're talking about? Those skinny presidential legs. I want a president with some nice beefy legs. What?
Sand is not that easy to walk through, but when he walks through it, he can't walk through the sand. And there's somebody in there that thinks he looks fabulous at the beach. I think he looks horrible at the beach. Plus, the beach doesn't represent what a president's supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be working.
Oh, he's supposed to be working, Mr. Golf Course. Okay. I have to say, by the way, separate from how strange it is that that's what they're choosing to talk about, this is a former president of the United States talking about the legs and the appearance of the president of the United States while he's on the beach, which Biden apparently is not supposed to do because it's unpresidential. But Biden, the clip that's being referenced there, he takes off his shirt at the beach. I mean, I like to see Trump take off his shirt at the beach. I actually want it. I actually really want to see that. But you know what I'm saying. Biden has the confidence to go to the beach in that fashion, which is admirable. I'm telling you, how can my response to this not be weird when the essence of the interview is so dang strange? Then on the subject of Asa Hutchinson.
When you say there are people on stage who shouldn't be running for president, who do you mean?
Well, I don't want to really use names, but it wouldn't matter too much. A guy like, I call him Asa Hutchinson. It's Asa, but I call him Ada.
Why do you call him Ada?
You know, I could tell you, but I don't want to get myself in a little trouble. But he's weak and pathetic, and he was, I never understood the guy, never knew him. He was the governor of Arkansas.
This is the person that a sizable portion, 30, in the 20s maybe, of our country thinks is this genius, incredible, strong, presidential leader. Disturbing. Let's stay light and have a fun time with this segment, because thinking about that is rather unfortunate. And then it just gets weirder and weirder and more uncomfortable. Here's this about Hillary Clinton.
Around long enough now, you've seen many elections criticized. I mean, Hillary Clinton goes crazy. Every time she talks, she says, he's not the president. Jimmy Carter said, he's not the president. Well, I am the president. Hillary Clinton called me by
Not anymore.
the president. Hillary Clinton called me, by the way, at 3:02 in the morning to congratulate me the night of the election.
Did her voice crack?
Well, her voice was, it's very different, I will say. I won't get into that, but
What do you mean?
her voice was very different. But
What is that supposed to be alluding to? I'm so confused by that. Very different. As if we're supposed to know what that means. Just disregarding, by the way, Tucker Carlson's question of did her voice crack. But she was more devastated. The tone of her voice was really sad. That would make sense given the moment. Or maybe she was speaking more polite to him than she would publicly. That would also make sense because it's a congratulations call. I don't know. Or it just sounded strange audibly because it was over a phone and maybe she was tired. I don't know. Very, very bizarre thing to focus on. But to the substance of what he was saying, he's again trying to equate questioning the results to the actions he took based on the lies he was telling. So he will say, I'm being prosecuted for just questioning the results of the election. And other people have questioned the results of elections and they aren't being prosecuted. Of course, yes, you were lying, but that is not what you're being prosecuted for. You have the right to lie about the election. It was that you were using those lies to justify actions, an alleged criminal conspiracy. The fraudulent slate of electors, the trying to get Mike Pence to do something that would be unconstitutional and against the lawful process, the pressuring of other public officials to violate their oath of office and disenfranchise millions of their voters, and on it goes. It was the actions, it was the criminal coordinated effort, allegedly, that is at issue here. So you could have questioned all you want. You could have lied until forever and you would be fine legally. I wish you wouldn't, but you'd be fine legally. So comparing the two is deeply dishonest. Then this really bizarre moment from Tucker Carlson.
and this was in front of probably not a friend of yours, Chris Wallace. He was the moderator.
Not a friend.
I said, why is it he wants to be Mike, but he doesn't have the talent? It's one of those
Bitchy little man.
He wanted to be his father, but he didn't have the talent of his father was great. His
He's a
father,
little fussy man.
his father interviewed me in 60 Minutes, and this
Tucker Carlson disturbs me. He's just a strange guy. I'm not finding new words to describe what we're observing here, but try my best. Then here's Tucker bringing up this subject.
Do you think Epstein killed himself sincerely?
I don't know. I will say that, he was a fixture in Palm Beach.
Yeah.
I don't know what Barr said about it either. I have no idea what he said. What did he say? He killed himself, probably?
He said he killed himself and that they were going to do this investigation. They never did the investigation. It's never been public.
Well,
and they hid it. And why are they doing that?
He
And
didn't
clearly
do-
Barr knew. But why would Bill Barr be covering up the death of Jeffrey Epstein?
Why would Bill Barr? Just asking questions.
Bill Barr didn't do an investigation on the election fraud either, okay? He said he did.
Exactly. Everything comes back to that. No matter what you ask Trump about, it's instead of the 6 degrees of separation, it's the 2 degrees of separation from any topic to the election was stolen. I think I heard someone make that point already. Really funny and also deeply dishonest to connect everything to an example of something. There are few things in American politics that have been vindicated time and time again as much as the legitimacy of the 2020 election based on the evidence initially and then the attempt by MAGA to prove otherwise and the failed attempt time and time again. And so he is really effective at getting to a topic that, aside from his followers or outside of his own movement, who are all brainwashed by his rhetoric for some reason, is humiliating. To constantly talk about something where, again, the evidence is so against Donald Trump. Obviously, that's the reality of the situation. And then we'll end with this clip.
Do you think we're moving towards civil war?
There's tremendous passion and there's tremendous love. January 6th was a very interesting day because they don't report it properly. I believe it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken before. And some of the crowds I've spoken before. And like July.
See? We'll let it continue. And this topic I really don't like because it is our decision to not allow anything like that to happen. And so I don't like the speculation about, and I've talked about the logistics of it too. The Civil War conversation, I think, is really irrelevant within this current, both geographical and just ideological and the logistical reality that we're in. I don't think, as we picture it, that's anywhere close or anywhere likely. But the conversation is not one that I think is very beneficial or valuable. But still, he was able to bring it right back around to January 6th and his big crowds, which is sort of adjacent to the claims of the election being stolen.
July 4th on the mall. I think they had 1 million people there. But I think that the biggest crowd I've ever spoken before was on January 6th. And people that were in that crowd, a very, very small group of people, and we said patriotically and peacefully and patriotically, right? Nobody ever says that. Go peacefully and patriotically. But people that were in that crowd that day, very small group of people went down there, and then there are a lot of scenarios that we can talk about. But people in that crowd said it was the most beautiful day they've ever experienced. There was love in that crowd. There was love and unity. I have never seen such spirit.
Who knows how he got here? Constant criticism of Biden's cognition. But what was that? Now he's talking about the love in the air at January 6th. Very incoherent. It is interesting, though, that when asked about a potential civil war, he thinks of January 6th. He thinks of his followers. Very, very interesting and dangerous that that's the connection he makes, even though I guess you kind of understand the logic. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. That is just boom, free, great, amazing. Then if you're done with that and you think, gosh, I want to do more. I want to be a part of assisting in the ability for the show to take place, for us to do this, for me to hire a new employee as I'm currently doing. You can go to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. Another thing, just a bunch of plugs in a row, why not? If you want merch, boom, boom, you can go to lukebeasleymerch.com, or on the website, there's a link somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. So lots of stuff there. Thank you very much.